So to get to the type tool, you can press T. You see the shortcut key there, or you can click here. And go ahead and type out whatever you want to say for this. I'm gonna. Well, so this is what I want you to understand is that treat these like individual objects. Like if you want to have a logo that like says something, of course, then you're gonna need to type out, let's say, logo. And once you have this typed out, yours might be bigger or smaller. But if you click this selection tool, shortcut for this is V. Notice there's two selection tools here. There's one that has white and there's one that's black. The one that's white, it will select individual points, like more detail, and the one that's black will select the entire group or object. So the one that we want right now is the black one. So you can press V on the keyboard to get to it. And when you get close, how I zoomed, by the way, was by pressing the space bar and the control key. Control is command on a Mac, and space is still space on a Mac, so space and command. And then you'll get the magnifying glass with the plus in the middle. That means you're going to zoom in. And then the modifier key for that is Option or Alt, and it'll turn it to a minus. And then when you click, you'll zoom out. And if you let go of that Option Alt, then you get the plus, and you go back in. So, like I was saying before, when you go to the corner of the logo, when you click and you hold Shift, you can pull and proportion. If I let go of Shift, see what happens? It's ugly. So you hold Shift, and it keeps it locked into proportion. But notice how it's dragging it from, and the way I'm clicking and moving around my canvas is just holding the space bar by itself, and it turns into the hand, and then I can click and drag. And so when I'm dragging, I hold Shift and I click the corner. It pulls it in proportion, but it's pulling it from the top left to the bottom right direction. If I hold Alt, it then scales it from the center. You see the difference there? From the center, let go of Alt, from the corner. So that's just something to note. Like if you're trying to center this, so you got it pretty close here, and you want to make it bigger, but you don't want to lose your proportions, then you would just hold Alt, and then you could go ahead and make it bigger. So now that we have our text here, it says logo. To pick different text, up here at the top menu, you should see this character symbol, and then this drop down menu, you could pick all from your installed fonts that you have on your system. I have a lot just because from just being collected over long periods of time. One of my favorites lately would be, I guess, actually I like this one called Senzel. Where is that? Senzel, I've been using that. Yeah, there we go. Senzel Decorative. Senzel Washington. That's what I like to call it. So just you can see just already by having a cool font that's for logos, I've already got a lot going on for me, just from the jump. But I'm gonna show you how to modify this and make this look even cooler. So I'm gonna show you how to treat these like individual letters. We kind of have these boxed in here, but once you do this step, you really can't go back. So make sure that you have this set up the way that you want. So what I'm going to do is with this V selection tool selected, I'm going to right click on the logo, and I'm going to get this option that says create outlines. And what this is going to do is this is going to take this from being type, which I can press T and select and change. What that's going to do is then it's going to make it like a shape, similar to this square that's right here, this rectangle. If I click this and I drag this, this is a shape. This is going to make this logo a shape just like that rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and see how I have this tool selected. And if I right click, oh, I guess I could still create outlines, but I guess it's a good habit just to have your selection tool selected, because after you make this outlines, you're usually going to want to have your selection tool. So now that we have these outlines, if we press Command or Control, and then we press Y, we can see that we have outlines here. And so in our other selection tool, if we zoom in, when we click, we have all these points. And these points are now what's making up our shape. So if we wanted to modify, say this G, we could click here, bring it down, and so now we have this custom G, as whereas before it was just this G that we started with. And if I press Command Y, go back out to my coloring, you can see it's filled in that space with the color that's been selected. So you can see already how easily you can start making some cool custom type stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and Control Z, because I think I didn't do it any justice by pulling that. But maybe something I might do is take a point here, see if I can't pull this guy down a little bit. I think that looks cool. Take this guy, bring him in a little bit. I mean, I've done better designs, but just for the sake of saying it's custom, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, color. If you notice, right here, this is black. And it's actually not an accident or a mistake. This is black because we have this filled in as black. So, for example, if I select this black, it automatically switched to me to this Swatches color thing. And if I click anywhere in here, it's going to change that color to represent whatever I click. Also, there's this Swatches tab with predefined colors. Let's say I double click here and I pick this nice like orangey gray warm cream kind of color, and I go, oh, I like that. I'm going to drag this over into my Swatches panel, and I could use that later on. Say if I click on this guy and then click on him, now I have that same exact color without trying to use the color guide and find that exact whatever. And also notice how I click on the color guide and nothing happens. That's because I don't have anything selected. So when I select this, see how it turns to this color? Because this is what's currently selected. Now, to join things together, we have this great tool called the Shape Builder tool, and it's right here. This guy is lovely. What this guy does is take two shapes and join their paths into one. Let me show you how I do this. So with my white selection tool, because I want to get down and select individual points, like I can click and drag and let go and select individual things. If I have this other selection tool, if I touch any of this, I got all of it. Like I'm selecting this whole thing and I'm moving it. I'm not getting in there and fine-tuning anything. So yeah, with this tool, I'm going to select this O, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag and I'm going to make it touch this G. Now, this O and G, they are not one shape, and I can tell you this is true because the G is a different color and it's on top of the O, and you could tell that one's in front of the other. So if I click on this O and I right click, I could say arrange, and I could say bring it to front, and now this is on top and this is behind. And by the way, yeah, that's how you arrange the stacking order of things. And similar to Photoshop, like we talked about on Monday, this program too has a layers panel. and it's going to be in different places depending on how your setup is, but mine's hiding here. If you don't see it, click this window menu, and everything that you ever want to see is going to be listed in here somewhere. And so you're going to want to click this layers button. If it's already on, it's going to disappear. You can bring it back by pressing F7 or going back to that same spot and bringing it up. If you click on this arrow, you'll notice this is where all of our layers are. So if we needed to select something through our layer panel, we could do it by clicking these circles here. In Illustrator, if it's not highlighted in blue, you do not have it selected. So if I click here, notice how it selects it and it's blue there. So I click these two guys are blue. Okay. So to combine these two shapes, what you want to do is first select the two shapes. Once you have the two shapes selected, you can click the shape builder tool. And how this guy works is when you hover over stuff, you see like this grid pattern of what it's basically about to shape build. And you click from what you want onto something else that you want, and it connects those two shapes. So, for example, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag to here. And so I'm saying that part of the G that's overlapping with the O, I actually want that just to be part of the O. So I let go, and it builds this into one shape. Now, I know you're thinking, hey, that didn't really do anything. That kind of just like took this shape, turned it that color, and now it's saying that it's the same shape. Well, in fact, if I take this and I pull it back, you see how it kind of just like swallowed that. So think about the cool implications that means. Like you could just pull this away a little bit and kind of get this cozy, really form-fitting look that logos have, right? So that's pretty cool. I can take this L, bring this guy closer, because one thing people hate is bad typography, let me tell you. And then I'm going to take this O, and I'm going to bring this guy, I'm going to set him down somewhere in here, just kind of give it some cool feel to it. Our transform tool, so this guy right here, this is our scale. In Photoshop we call it transform. In Illustrator it has a name called scale. I'm going to click it, and when I click on stuff, see how I'm then scaling it? Same rules apply. If I hold shift, I then scale it in proportion. So now I'm going to switch back to my selection tool, my white selection tool, because I want to get in here on these points, and I'm going to bring that guy right in there. And this really works nicely because it kind of has that same feel that this little cutout here has. If I can line it up to a point to where the form fits good. And that's kind of like what you do as a designer or making logos, is you really just kind of play with stuff. So the way I'm going to try to achieve that is by using the scale tool, but without holding shift. Like this holding shift would make it all perfect, and so not holding shift, I have the opportunity to kind of warp it a little bit. Or even better, what I should do is use the shape builder tool and do the same thing that I did on the O and the G, but in reverse. So I'm going to select these two. I'm going to press my shape builder. I'm going to click from my O onto the corner of the G. I'm going to have that guy swallow it. I'm going to zoom in because I see there's another intersection down here. I'm going to swallow the tail. And then what I'm going to do is, with my selection tool, I'm going to click off of this because I have these guys selected too. Over here, if I zoom in close, you can see I have them selected. Be very careful when you're working because things that you think you don't have selected are still going to be affected. Now I'm going to reselect this one, and I'm going to Just nudge him. Actually, let me use the arrow keys. The arrow keys will move stuff around with 1 pixel. So I'm gonna go 1 up, 1 over, 1 up, 1 over, until I keep getting something, until I start to get something that I like. And I think I like this right here, because bring it a little closer. I'll try to match the distance like the first one. Alright, cool. So, yeah, actually, I think we pretty much covered the basics of the type tool, and a little bit about color. And in the next video, oh, and we actually did the shape builder too. So in the next video, I guess we're going to talk about combining shapes and strokes.